welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sue of Bendnstretch with Sue. In today's video, I'm taking you through a Pilates class, and we're going to be actually incorporating some weights. I have some light weights here, 2-pound balls, as well as 5-pound dumbbells and some 10-pound dumbbells as well. Now you can do this without weights, using your very own body resistance as you go through the exercises. This is a bit more of a contemporary Pilates lineup that I have set up for you today. It's also part of a Zoom class that I did with some of my students recently, and I've recorded the class in order to provide you with some variety for your workout. So I hope you enjoy it. Do make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And give me one of these if you like it, as well as making sure that you hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I upload new content, and you can check it out and check me out in the next video. Thank you so much for your time, and let's get started. We'll start off just warming up the body as we start standing. So come on up. We're going to use the Pilates principles of engaging the powerhouse. It is really the best way to make sure that you're drawing the strength from your core, and all additional movements are really bonus movements. So from here, we've got a nice strong core. There's a little lift of the pelvic floor, engagement in the lower abdomen, the navel's drawn toward the spine, and the feet planted firmly underneath the hips. We take an inhale and bring the arms up overhead, and exhale to float them back down again. So take a few breaths like that. We want to get the shoulders warmed up, as we are going to really need those as we incorporate our weights into the practice. So take one more like that, and bringing the arms down. Let's warm up the shoulders even more by rolling them forward, up and back and down. So let's do that a few times, really keeping that rounded movement in the shoulder, lubricating the joint. We've got that synovial capsule in the joint. We want to get that fluid really warmed and lubricating the shoulder joint. Now as we take the arms up, this time bring the palms down to the heart, and we're simply going to place the hands over top of the shoulders. From here, taking an inhalation to open the chest. So draw the elbows toward each other, and as you exhale, bring them toward each other in front. So bringing them back toward each other, and then bringing them forward toward each other. So repeating this a few more times, and focusing on really bringing the breath into those open spaces, and then bring the elbows out. Let's do a few shoulder or circles with the elbows. It's as if you're drawing circles on walls on either side of you, and then do the same thing in reverse, so that we get really nice and warm here. As we bring the arms back, release and bring them at your sides. Take an inhale, bring the arms up, taking your right hand alongside the right leg. Let's slide the fingers down as we ease the hips over toward the left side. So reaching up and over with that left arm, and gazing past your left elbow to get a little bit of rotation through the trunk. Inhaling to bring that up. Exhale, do the other side. So sliding the fingertips down, reaching up and over, looking up, relaxing the jaw as you do, and bring it up and back down again. From here, let's add a little bit bigger range as we look up, and gently shift the hips forward. Exhale and dive down into a forward fold. Take an inhale, and as you do, you're going to flatten your back, reaching the head forward, really pulling in the abdomen. Exhaling to fold again. Inhale, flatten the back, and exhale to fold. Inhale, flatten the back again. This time as you exhale, bend your knees and let yourself fold over the legs, bringing the hands to the mat. And from here, straightening the right leg as much as you can. And then bending that right leg and switch it over to the other side, straightening the left leg and bending both, straighten right
and bend and straighten left. Bring both knees to a bend and go slow and easy to unroll yourself as you slide those shoulders back and down once again. Taking the arms up, inhaling, and exhale, bring the hands right by the ears. So you want to just lightly place your fingers here as we bring the right elbow to, or left elbow, sorry, toward the right knee and switch it over. So alternating side to side to get a little bit more warmth through the trunk now and creating that nice spiral of your spine. So side to side. Let's do one more on each side and bring it down. Take the arms up, and as you hold the arms up now, we're going to reach the left hand toward the right toes and switch and switch. So now we start to warm up not only the backs of the legs that we've already stretched out, but also getting a little bit more warmth in those hips. Side to side to side. One more in each one, and bring it all the way down. As you stand nice and tall, feet a little bit wider than hips, so we're going to bring the weight into the left foot as you circle out with that right hip. Do the same thing on the left side, and right, and left. So getting some additional lubrication in the hips. And let's go the other way. So circling in the opposite direction. I think I went the same way there. Bring it in. So circling back and forward. Back and forward. So getting a little bit warmer. Getting that blood flowing through the body. And let's bring it back to standing at one end of your mat as you once again place feet underneath the hips, reaching up to inhale and exhaling to hinge and fold forward. From here, soften your knees, walk the hands away and take it to a plank position. As you align yourself here, drop to the knees if you need to, and holding it here. Now you could also drop to your forearms if that's more comfortable for you. Let's take the feet a little wider than hip width as we pivot and open, reaching up with the right arm. So you could do this from your bottom forearm as well. Place it back under the shoulder and pivot to open to the opposite side. Breathing in, right at the center here. Breathing out to reach up and look up. Breathe in, replace that hand, and switch over again. Look up. And one more to each side. In through the nose as you breathe in, and out through the mouth. That will help you to relax your jaw and get that additional strength to the exhaling on exertion. Take it to downward dog here. Give the head a little turn from side to side and walk the hands back towards your feet and unrolling from here. So pull the belly in, keep the back supported as you unroll and make your way all the way to the top. So feeling a little bit warmer, the blood's flowing now. We're going to pick up the heaviest weight that you're going to be using today. Now, if you only have a fairly light weight and you're using dumbbells, you might even be able to double up and just hold on to the two of them, depending on how small your weights are. But we're going to take that weight into the right hand first, with your feet underneath the hips, and taking your left hand to the hips. We're coming into suitcase squat. So it's as if you're bending the knees here and you're reaching down to place your suitcase and then picking up that suitcase. Now, because we're only holding the weight to one side, there's going to be a tendency to create a little bit of twisting in the body. We want to avoid that, so your core is actually working really hard to keep you nicely balanced, and you've got that extra bit of work going on the opposing side, where away from where you're holding the weights. Now it's really important as you keep going to get that weight back into your heels. So you're going to keep your chest lifted as much as possible. It's certainly not
sitting straight up and down, you want to try to maintain the same angle with your trunk as you have with your shins. And from here we come all the way up, and we're going to switch it over to the other side. So same movement, really feeling firmly planted through the feet, opening up through the chest, and sinking down as you place that suitcase down and pick it up again. So use your breath. Don't hold your breath, because when you're concentrating, it is so easy to all of a sudden forget to breathe. So don't let that happen. Keep your breath flowing and keep that power, that energy helping you along as you keep the breath flowing. So let's finish with the last 4. So again, remember, you're heavy in the heels. 3, chest is lifted. Last 2. And last one right here. Great. So from here, you can pick up 2 weights, and we're going to move. We're simply going to hold the weights in front of us. So we're not doing a whole lot of crazy lifting with them. That's why you can go a little bit heavier. You're starting at the middle of your mat lengthways, and from here we're going to take a step back with the left leg as we weight into the right foot to sink down into a curtsy squat. Step left foot back in, cross behind with the right, and step it back. So moving side to side, try to keep your body really tall as you allow the weights to pull down and draw toward the floor. That back knee is also reaching, kind of searching for the floor. You're not bringing it all the way down to the floor. However, you are getting nice and deep into that curtsy, which really helps to work not only the legs, but the hips. A lot going on in this movement. Core is staying strong. Make sure that you're breathing to help you to get a little bit more power. Always breathing out when you are exerting the most effort and energy. And from here we continue with another 2 on each leg. So keep your chest open because the weights are slightly forward. Perhaps you want to try to keep them at your sides as much as possible so that the collarbones are nice and open. So last one off on each side here, and bring it all the way in. From here you can shake out the legs a little bit, and we're going to move into some chair squats. I'm going to hold on to my lighter weights for this. So these are 2 pounds, and we are going to come back to our chair squat. The only difference is this time we are going to bring one leg in front and keep the chest lifted. Take an inhale and exhale, squatting down as you lift the opposite leg. So you're lifting your right leg in this instance and supporting yourself on the left. So a little extra weight with your weights will help you to really concentrate on the form in your trunk. And we've got another 3, 2, and a last 1. Bring it in. Shake out the legs here. Give yourself a nice shoulder roll. And let's reset those weights to bring ourselves back to that same squatting position. So as we open up the chest, pull the navel in, and a little activation in the glutes as well. Breathe in and step out with your left leg, and let's bring it down. So lifting and lowering. Now if you need to, you can tap that foot down for a little extra stability, or if you want the extra load, you can keep that leg lifted up. So keep it moving up and down. just like an elevator. Remember, you're breathing out on the challenging portion of the movement, and you're really trying to get a lot of weight in your right heel. So last 3 right here, last 2, and last 1, and bring it all the way up. So that's a good one. Shake out the legs, and let's move it back to using, well, we'll just stretch things out a little bit first. We're going to bring more focus now into the arms. So we'll shake out those arms, stretch them out. You can open the heart, bring the hands behind the back to open the chest more. You always want to remind yourself to stay open through the chest, especially when you're working with weights. There's a tendency to kind of collapse forward. We already do so much of that in our day-to-day, so we want to counter by opening up the chest and building more strength in those back muscles. So I'm going to go ahead and take my medium weights, and from here we're going to keep a nice flat back, and as we inhale, soften the knees, and exhale to drag those weights down toward your shins, and then pulling that navel to spine as you come up and bring it to an upright row. So when you row upright, you are using your elbows. Lower down from the elbows as if you had strings on the elbows. Tip forward, keeping the back long and flat, and bring it back up and give it a row. A little squeeze at the top of that row. Release back down and repeat. So keep that weight here also in your heels. Make sure that you feel the balls of the feet really firmly grounded as well. A little squeeze, a little lift of the elbows. Nice breath in as you find that easy place right between the transition. So you should feel this in the glutes as you tip forward. The belly is strong, keeping the back long and flat. And squeeze and lift. Lower and bring it back up again. Little squeeze at the top. Let's do one more right through here. And release it. So from here, once again, you can set the weights aside, shake out the arms a little bit, roll out the shoulders. I'm just going to do a technical check here. Looks good. And from here, we move on to some bicep work. So we're still working the arms as we pick up. I'm going to go with some heavy weights. I might regret it. But we're coming into some bicep curls. We're going to bring the left arm in a 90-degree position. So you've got the elbow right at your side, and the wrist extends out from there. Your other arm is heavy at your sides. The palm is facing your leg. Open the chest, stand tall, weight in the heels, balls of the feet, and your powerhouse is on. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, a little curl and twist of the bicep. Bring it down. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze it up. So keep going as you give that squeeze at the top. Notice as you squeeze at the top, the weight does not touch your chest, doesn't touch your shoulder. So it's really about keeping the belly of that upper arm muscle engaged. So there's a squeeze. If you bring it up too high, you're going to lose out on that squeeze. We don't want to do that. You don't want to cheat yourself of any work at all here. So let's do the last two on this side. Taking your time on the way up and taking your time on the way down. So let's release. Take a roll of the shoulders. Let's bring the right arm at 90. And from here we inhale, exhale, give it a squeeze as you lift up. So continuing to move up and down. So just doing a check here. I think I have a message. We're good. Keep it going. Holding at 90 with your right arm. And let's do another 5. And go slow on the way up, slow on the way down. And last 3. And 2. Last 1. And release it. So again, set those weights aside, shake out the arms, interlace the fingers behind your back, lift them away from your lower back. You can take the feet even wider than your hips here, toes and the outer edges of your feet, nice and parallel to the edges of your mat. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, let the hands come away from your lower back as you stretch across the chest, stretching into those upper arms, letting away to the arms pull, lifting the hips up a little bit higher, head comes a little closer to your mat, and then bring it all the way up as you unhinge. Thumbs up as you reach the arms wide open, and then thumbs down and press those palms back behind you, and then release it again. So moving on from here, as we keep the weights handy, we come to the end, or one end of the mat, and from here we're going to pick up, let's say, the heavier weight, and placing it right above the shoulder. So you're going to squeeze the elbow in towards you rather than having it out to the side. So you want to keep everything nice and square. And as you engage the powerhouse, you're going to press into the right foot to lift the left leg and take a big step forward. So finding your position here for a lunge. And you're going to hold that lunge. Now by having a weight on one side, just like our suitcase squats, we've got to work harder to stabilize the other side so we're not falling to one side. So you're going to bend, searching for the floor once again, and lift. So we reach that knee down for 3. Breathing in when it's easy, breathing out when it is more challenging. 4, 5. You can rest the weight on the shoulder, or you can keep it lifted to give your shoulder, your arm, a little bit more work. So we're down to the last 3. 9, and we come to 10. Pause here, bring it down and hold it, and let's add some pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the leg, take a big step back, bring it back in place. Switch the weight over to the other side. So as you align yourself, toes pointed straight ahead, once again, chest proud and open, navel to the spine, lifting that left arm, left hand, holding the weight, tuck the elbow in, and let's take a big breath in, and we're going to step forward with the right foot this time to come into our lunge. So you might have to adjust yourself a little bit when you get in position. Again, remember to keep your body so the shoulders are right over hips. Open the chest and breathe in, breathe out, moving down like an elevator, and back up again. So bending and straightening. We do 10 of these. 4, 5. So make sure you're keeping your powerhouse on. That's going to give you more stability as well, while continuing to work those deep core muscles. Number 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring it back up for a moment. Reset. Let's bring a bend to the knee. Hold it here. Pulse it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and big step back again to bring the foot to the back of your mat. So from here we will move on to the hands and knees. So from the back of your mat, let's use this as an opportunity to get a good stretch into the body. So taking a breath in, reach up, inhale. A little bit of a lean back. As you exhale, dive it down into your forward fold. Come on up halfway, soften the knees, walk the hands away. Come on into an inverted V first of all. Press the heart toward the legs, lift the tailbone up and back, and bring yourself down onto the hands and knees. So take a moment here to set your wrists underneath your shoulders, navel to the spine, shoulders well away from the ears as you keep a nice long neck. And from here, let's go through a few cow-cats first to limber the spine and really tap into that beautiful support that the abdominal wall provides for our spine. And as we move on, we're going to take whatever, if you're using dumbbells, or even if you had the weighted balls, you could place one right in the crook of the knee, the back of your knee. Take a light weight if you have, or another weight that you might have available, totally optional as well on either one of those weights. But you're going to squeeze the one behind your leg as you pull the heel towards your bottom. You're going to balance on your left knee, shin, and right hand. So make a big handprint. If you need to, you can always come up on the fist, or you could come down on your forearm. If you're coming down on the forearm, you're going to have to work a little bit harder to stabilize so you're not twisted. But if you're on the hand, spread the fingers wide apart. Pick up the weight with your left hand as you reach and lift. So bring that weight in on both the leg and the arm. Reach it up, bend the elbow to squeeze it in. Reach and squeeze. We move on. We're going to do 10 of these. So you might feel a little bit shaky if you need to drop the weight either with the leg or the arm. Go ahead and do that. Make sure you're not collapsing into your left shoulder, or your right shoulder rather. You want to use the muscles in that right arm to keep you very well supported. Last two, one more, and bring it down. So from here, we're going to continue to hold on to the weight in the back of our right leg. Spread the hands wide open again. You can come down on your forearms if you need that extra bit of support. Make sure your powerhouse is still on here as we reach the tailbone back, head forward, inhale. Let's open it out to the side for hydrant. So you're reaching up and squeezing in. Resist on the way up. So even if you're doing this without a weight, you're really going to use that mind-body connection to get that lift. So you're squeezing, engaging the muscles on the way up, and you're keeping them engaged on the way down. We've got another 5. Really squeezing that weight behind your knee is going to keep those hamstrings engaged. Last 2. And one more. And bring it in. We're not quite done yet with that leg. So again, adjust the arms. Come up on your fists if that's going to make it easier for you. So that can be a really good option for support if you need it. You're going to reach the head out of the spine as you lift and lower. Lift and lower. So lift and control on the way up, control on the way down. Make sure you're not just dropping the knee, but you're placing the knee under your hip. You're squeezing it up, and you are likewise squeezing it down. So we've got 5, 4, 3, and 2, and one more. Bring it down. Now we get to stretch things out as we bring ourselves to a child's pose. Bringing forehead underneath, or right onto the mat, or
You could place it on a block, or you could even place it on the hands if that's easier, or stacked fists is also an option. Breathing into the sides of the body. And let's take it into an inverted V again, where we get lots of length into the backs of those legs. Intend your heels toward the floor. They don't have to reach. You can bend one leg, straighten the other one to deepen stretch, and then switch it over. And really focus on the one that we've just worked. You can just keep holding it there. And then bring both knees down to your mat. And from here, we're going to move on to the other side. So I'm just going to turn so that you have a better visual. And from here, we once again place one weight, if you choose to do so, behind the knee. And the hands under the shoulders, little squeeze of that heel to the glute, belly button pulled in, head reaching forward. And from here, reaching or holding on to the hand weight as you lift and squeeze it in. Extend and squeeze. Lots of control. You may as well be aware and notice that one side of these movements is going to be a lot easier for you. And that's perfectly normal. You're trying to bring your back knee up as much as possible, but you don't want to get any play in your lower back. So if you thrust the knee up too high, you're going to get some compression in that low back. And at this point in time, we want to keep the low back stabilized. So let's do another 2. Last one. And bring that weight down that you're holding on to with your hand. You can place your knee down just long enough to think about it, and then rotating out. Now, as you rotate out, you don't want to be turning your body like this. You want to keep the body so that it's facing the floor. So you're relying strictly on these abductors to lift and open that knee out to the side. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep that control. Reaching head forward. Relaxing jaw. Keep it moving nice and smoothly. And you want to feel yourself pressing as well into your right top of foot, your right shin. Your weight is distributed evenly in both of your hands, noticing as well which side might be stronger, which side might be weaker. Last one right here. And bring it back and down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Again, trying to eliminate play in the lower back. You really want to be targeting the glutes to do the work for you, as well as your powerhouse. Last 5 and 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Bring it down. Release that weight and take the hands further forward. That beautiful child's pose, forehead down. Breathe into the sides of the body. Open the hands wide, tuck toes under, lift up, downward facing dog or inverted V. Bend one leg, straighten the other, and switch it around. And again. And again. Nicely done. So from here, let's come on to the knees, and I'm going to turn around once again here as I step my right leg forward. So bringing it to the top of the mat. You're going to pick up either your light weight or your medium weight on this one. So really dependent on what the strength that you have in your upper arms. We're targeting the triceps in this one. So you can have your left hand on the hip, really pressing firmly, so there's good load here for the back of your right leg as well as the glute, and just tipping enough so that you create some load on the upper back as well. As we lift with the elbow and release it back down.
lift and lower. Now control on the way up, control on the way down. So you're flexing those muscles to pick up the weight, and you are keeping them engaged as you lower the weight. You're not just dropping and letting the arm get floppy on you as you move it down. Keep breathing as well. Remember, the breath is energy. It brings oxygen into that bloodstream, which feeds those muscles. So we want to keep those muscles fed, to develop them into strong, strong muscles. Now the next time you lift it up, hold it here. We're going to kick it back and bring it to a bend. Lift and bend. So keep that going. Keep that elbow lifted. Sometimes there's a tendency to kind of drop the elbow, but if you keep it lifted, you're going to continue to keep your tricep loaded. And here too, as you extend the arm, you want to keep that upper arm really, really nice and still. Let's finish with 3, 2, 1, and bring it down and release the weight. Bring your right knee underneath your hip. Walk the hands further forward to the top of the mat. Come on into a half plank, or perhaps lift those knees off the floor to come into a full plank. So get right up onto the balls of the feet here as you reach the head forward. Do not drop the head. Keep it reaching forward. Inhale, exhale, bend the elbows, press it back up for 1. We're doing 5 of these. Virtue, modify as you need to. Drop to the knees if you need to. 3 and 4. 1 more. Keep those elbows close. Press it up. Bring the knees down. Whew, and shake it out. Let's give that right tricep a really good stretch as you bring the arm up and place the hand between your shoulder blades. Slide your left hand on top of the elbow. Slide the hand between the shoulder blades more, using your left hand to guide it there. And press the back of your head into the arm as you bring your gaze upward. Breathe into that space and release it all. So the bad news is we have 2 sides, so we've got to do the same thing on the other side. This is where, as you do these unilateral movements, that you really get to learn where your body is weaker. So let's pick up the same weight if possible. If you just can't do it with the same weight, you need to go lighter, go ahead and do that. Or you might feel that you can go stronger, but you really want to be about the same weight so that you've got that balance between the 2 sides. You want to bring them closer to being in balance. So as you step your left foot forward, once again, you're leaning into it. You want to keep the knee above the ankle, and you can take your right hand to the right hip. Let that weight drop down. Keep the collarbones open and keep your powerhouse on. Breathe in and breathe out to lift. So again, you're squeezing the tricep, the back of the arm. Those are the muscles that really give the arms that toned definition. So these are really important ones that we want to target. Even though we're going into winter now, we're going to be hiding those muscles with big sweaters for the next several months, perhaps, depending on where you're wintering. But spring is coming. So as we move into fall here in the northern hemisphere, there is spring coming. The sooner we get into fall, the sooner the next spring will come. So from here, hold it lifted this time. Reach it back, bend, and reach. So we continue to keep the arm in line with the shoulder as we lift that elbow up, really, really isolating in that tricep because the movement is happening at the elbow. So we have another 4, 3, 2, and 1 last one, and bring it down. Excellent. From here, bring the knees back, both knees back to your mat, and we are going to walk the hands forward, come into either your half plank or make it a full plank as you activate the whole body. Breathe in, elbows touch the sides as you lower for one, bend and straighten for two. Make sure you don't drop your nose to the mat. Keep that head in line with the rest of your spine. We've got one more. And take it up and bring it down. Excellent. Time is flying right by this morning as we come to seated now. So moving on, we are going to, I would say, pick up the lightest weights, probably for this one that you have available, and certainly no weights is always a good option because you are using so much of your body's resistance. We're going to pick up both of those weights, bring them in front of you, right around just below the collarbones in front, and as you start to tip back, we're coming into a boat position. Now you can keep your toes or even the whole foot on the floor if you prefer it. You might start off in a half boat and then have to drop your feet down. But from here, we're going to bring the weights out in front and open up and close. Resist on the way down. Resist on the way up. We have 8 more. 7, 6, 5. So you should feel that in the upper arms, the shoulders, the upper back. I lost count again. So I'll say it's another 3 from here. And 2. And last 1. Bring them back together, bring it to the chest, and stretch the legs out. From here, you can shake out those legs, kind of get the blood flowing in the hips. Take the hands right behind you, slightly behind, so that they align with the shoulders once you bring your feet flat on the floor and you lift the hips up. This gives a really nice balance to your hips as you open the chest. Breathe in and breathe out, lift those hips a little bit higher. Gaze up to the ceiling or gaze straight ahead, and then bring it all the way back down again. So let's pick up those weights. We're coming back to a boat. This time, actually, I'm going to use one weight. I'm going back with a dumbbell, and I'm going to hold either ends of it because we're going to come into a Russian twist. Now you can, once again, keep your feet flat on the floor. You might prefer to come up onto your tippy toes, or you can make it a half boat. So you want to be balancing here. As you hold on, notice the weight is lined up with my chest. So it's nice and squared. I want to maintain it that way. I'm going to twist to the side, but notice the weight does not move. As I twist, I'm bringing the elbow toward the floor, then I bring it center, and then I do the same thing to the other side. So the key is to really twist from your waist, not moving your weight. You're just holding the weight here to help you with concentration, focus, and it's a little extra resistance that you're adding in to your workload. Let's do 3 more on each side. Bring the feet down if you need to make it easier for yourself. 2 more. 1 more. Bring it all the way up. And set that aside once again. Shake out those legs once more. And from here, we are going to move back to that reverse table position with the hands facing towards you and opening up through the chest. Feet are flat on the mat as you lift up into your table. Now make sure you're well grounded through your hands as you lift the hips. We're going to take the right hand and tap the left foot. Place your right hand down, left hand taps the right foot, and continue side to side, reaching across and across. Try to bring the arm to the foot instead of the foot to the arm. We'll do 3 more on each side. 2 more. Great for the obliques and the shoulders. Bring it down, all the way down. Stretch the legs out. Well done. Shake out those arms. From here, interlace the fingers. Press the palms away, separating those shoulder blades. Inhale to reach it up. As you press the palms up, breathe in and breathe out. Bring the arms in front. Make sure that you have enough room to roll all the way back down onto your mat. However, you want to have enough room, but you don't have to come all the way down, is what I have wanted to say. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach forward, tuck the chin in. Scoop your belly in as you roll to bring yourself down to the mat, articulating all the way down. Breathe in, make sure your ribs don't flare up. Now, if you can't come all the way down because you know you can't get back up again, just come down partially. Breathe in, tuck the chin in, look towards your toes. And if you are down and can't come up all the way, just come up as high as you can and come back down again. So modify to work for you as we continue to work through these roll-ups. So I'll make sure that you can see me well here. I'll just scoot over to the side a little bit more. Breathe in and breathe out. Now we can modify this to make it a neck pull, as Joseph Pilates called it. And what you do not pull on your neck. I really don't advise you to do that. However, I'm just going to scoot over again. I want to make sure that you have a really good visual of what's going on here. You are going to have the fingertips right by the ears. The elbows are open nice and wide. Breathe in. Scoop the belly in, breathe out, tuck the chin in as you roll yourself up. So just by changing the hand placement, you're going to find that it changes up the entire exercise. Breathe in here, breathe out as you bring it up. Try as best as you can. If you're rolling all the way up, to control. Do not let any jerkiness or drops come into the movement. It's all about squeezing, controlling, and engaging. Now, if you were really, really adventurous here, you could hold on to some weights right by the ears. I'm not going to do that. I'm finding that this is probably challenging enough. We're not quite done with our weights yet, so we have a little bit more work to do with them. But right now, I choose to take a little bit of a break with the weights. So let's do the last 2. We're going to come down and back up again. One more time. Coming all the way up. And bring it down. Now, as we move on, I'm going to choose to work with some lighter weights right now. And I'm going to first demonstrate this without weight, because that's a very viable option as we let's bring first the hands by the hips. So keep your powerhouse on, spine neutral. Breathe in and breathe out to lift the right leg up and flex to lower it down. Let's switch to the left side. Point to lift, flex to lower. Now you can continue alternating one leg at a time. You could bend the leg if having long levers too much, or you could lift both legs, keeping the spine neutral, and lower both legs. Point as you lift, flex as you lower. So continuing on, we bring the arms, so we're going back to one leg at a time as we bring the arms up overhead. So if this option does not work well, those two that I've just demonstrated are an option for you. Take a breath in, tuck the chin in just like a roll up as you lift the right leg and reach toward the ankle and lower it back down again. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, lift it up, reach, and lower it down. Continuing with this, side to side. Now what you can do if you want the extra bonus work, you can bring one weight overhead, inhaling, and as you exhale, tuck the chin in to lift, reach, and lower it down. Once again, we go side to side. And continue. Nice long reach, slow, controlled movement. And for those of you who might want to get a little crazy, a little more adventurous, bringing both legs up and release. Breathe in here, breathe out, lift, hold, little pause, and lower down with control. Again, being cautious not to create jerkiness to throw the arms or legs up, but it's all about executing control. One more time. Feeling that burn in the belly. And bring it all the way down. From here, we're going to bring some countering to that movement by bringing attention back to the posterior chain. So you're going to bring your feet in, and we're going to compound the movement. So once again, you can go with some lower weights, lighter weights here. As you bring your heels in nice and close, you're going to bring the arms at your sides to get started here. Walk your shoulder blades toward each other. Make sure you're pressing into the center back of the head. Activate your powerhouse. Bring the arms right up over top of your shoulders so the palms are facing each other. Tuck the tail and lift the hips right off the mat so you create a nice straight line from the collarbones to your knees. Breathe in and breathe out as you open. Bring it up and down. Working it with control here. As you open those chest muscles and close them. When you open them, you're still controlling, you're not letting the arms drop, and when you bring the arms up at the top, you're squeezing the chest. You're squeezing your glutes here as well. Make sure that your knees are not collapsing at all. They're staying pointed straight in line with the hips so that you're keeping your inner thighs engaged. The legs don't touch, but you can feel as if you're trying to touch them. Now the next time that we open up, we're going to hold it here. Hold the pelvis in neutral. Hold the weights suspended. Add a little bit of pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those weights up. Lower the weights and the hips, and you can set them aside. Bring the knees into your body. Give yourself a little bit of rocking from side to side here to massage out your back. You can take the hands to the kneecaps as you make some circles to massage around that lower back. And doing so in both directions. So make it feel really nice and restorative for your back. And as we bring the left foot down, we're going to take the right leg up. And you can point the toes at first, clasp the back of the leg, hold on to it, give it a good pull. You can flex the ankle to deepen the stretch through the back of your leg. And you can experiment with your left leg. Maybe you take it long, maybe you bring it up, reaching through that heel, lifting the body up to hug in toward that thigh, even though you are staying centered. Maybe you're able to bring the hands up higher to deepen your stretch. As you release the head down, see if you can take a hold of your ankle, your foot, your big toe perhaps. Open up your left arm and let that leg open out to the side. Nice stretch here in the inner thighs. We did work those adductors, even though we didn't specifically target them, but when we were doing the hands and knee work, we certainly worked those inner thighs, as well as with our lunges and even our squats and bridges. So there's lots that goes on to all of those movements as we compound them. As you bring the knee back in, take your left hand to your right knee, open your right arm, and then bring it across your body so that you create that beautiful spinal twist. So you want to feel the stretch in the rib cage here, the waist, the spine. It's as if you're giving your spine a nice hug as you wring it out and bring your gaze toward your right hand. Breathe into it. Relax your face and your jaw. And then as you turn your gaze toward the left, you can cradle the head, reach for your right ankle, and pull to bring that heel in towards your bottom. Pointing your knee away from you and keeping the chest nice and open. Let it go. Come onto your back again and bring both knees in once again. Give yourself a squeezed nose to the knees, a little bit of rocking from side to side once again. And as your right foot comes down, the left leg stretches up. Clasp the back of it to feel a really good stretch. And from here, you can explore what to do with that right leg. Maybe you stretch it long, you can flex your left ankle, you can lift the leg up, you can lift your torso up toward the leg, perhaps even walk the hands up higher toward your ankle as you keep the heart nice and open, so you don't want to collapse into your shoulders. As you slowly let the head come back down, let the right leg come down, bring a bend to your left leg, right hand to the knee, open the left arm and take it across. Beautiful spinal twist on the other side. So I can't emphasize enough here, maintaining the opening through your chest. You really want to be able to feel that stretching your shoulder, opening up your heart. You'll feel it in the upper arm, especially after doing all those weights. Taking your gaze toward the hand, toward the left hand is also going to help deepen the stretch. Take another breath here, and then as you turn to the right, you can cradle your head, reach back, point the knee away from you, tuck your tailbone. Open your chest as you're doing this as well. It's a great, great way to lengthen out the hip flexors. And then as you come onto your back, we're going to cross the left leg on top of the right one. So you're squeezing the inner knees or the inner legs together. You're just more or less lining up your knees together. You're going to try to tuck in closer to the legs. Reach for the outside of your left foot with your right hand, and the same thing with your left hand. You're reaching for the right foot. Now, if you can't reach the feet, you can hold on to the ankles, you can hold on to the knees even, whatever you can reach. Let the head come down and then pull on those legs to bring them toward your body. You're trying to bring your feet towards your underarms, and you should feel that really stretching and opening up those hips and those glutes. That's what we want. As you let it go, switch the legs around, squeeze them together. Again, lift up, reaching for the lowest point that's available to you, and then lower the body. Squeeze to pull in. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Pull a little closer to you. Keep it going. Squeezing a little closer. And more. And then release it, let it go. From here, unwind your legs, open your arms, wiper blade your legs side to side here, loosening up the hips so beautifully. And then let them come all the way over to the right side. Cradle the head here for a moment as you align yourself. And when you're ready, you're pushing the floor away to come all the way up to a seated position. So let's stretch the arms a little bit more here. We've already stretched them throughout the practice, but just bring the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers, lift them away. If you want a little extra, see if you can reach your hands to opposite elbows, or you could even bring your hands to a reverse prayer where you bring the palms together and slide the fingers up your back. Open the heart, breathe into it, and release those arms. Shake them out a little bit, shake out the hands, bring the ear to the shoulder. You can press the heel of the opposite hand away, bring it back to the middle, switch, press the heel of the other hand away, and bring it back to the middle. Inhale, arms go up, look up, and bring your left hand forward, right hand back into a nice easy twist through the shoulders here. Inhale, center, exhale, switch, and inhale, center, bring the palms up, bring the hands to the heart, and Namaste.